This is Scott Bauer on the floor of the CME Group, and market not straight up today, but very, very strong day. A lot of market gyration today. Positive news coming out of Washington. We'll talk about that in a moment with the tax reform bill. Then midday, we find out North Korea fires another ballistic missile, so we got a little bit of a sell-off in the S&P. Didn't last long, though, as going into the last hour here, we're on the highs of the day. Speaking of highs of the days, we are now at a new intraday high on the S&Ps here. Going back to what the tax reform news was today, coming out of Washington, a couple of the senators, couple people in the House looking like they will vote in favor. Looks like the Senate is going to get the votes needed. Trump is supposed to speak a little bit later on, but it all looks at this point pretty positive. In fact, Goldman Sachs came out with a research report just a little bit a while ago saying 50% chance it gets done this year, so in the next basically 4 weeks, but 80% chance that it gets done next year. So lots of optimism for the market overall. Now, leaders in the market today, really the financials stand out. And why the financials, more so than anything else? And that was more news coming out of Washington today on the Powell testimony. Basically what Powell said is, he's seen enough. There's enough regulation out there for the banks. He is not in favor of adding more regulation. In addition, he would like to pull the reins in on some of the regulation for the smaller banks to be able to help them out. So financials, some of the big banks, Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, even some of the smaller regionals like BK Bank in New York, really rallying, leading the market today. Now, on the option side in the ES market here, yesterday, very active. Open interest for equity option and futures, over 2 million contracts yesterday. Now, what's very interesting is we're seeing a lot of put activity for expirations for end of this week, end of next week. But going on beyond that, we're seeing actually a flip-flop of that and a lot of call activity. So the volume leaders from yesterday, we saw December 2600 and 2550 puts that expire just in a couple weeks. But if we go out to the end of the month options, we're looking at the 2625 and 2705 calls, the ones that expire end of the month, being the volume leaders here. So, if paper is helping us try to make some sense out of this marketplace, at least going out to the end of the month, lots of upside call buying here. Now, we have a slight uptick overall in volatility, especially in the ES here, and that's leading to a bit greater than expected move in the S&P market. So ES options are suggesting a move to the end of this week, this Friday, of about $14 one direction or the other. But going out 2 weeks from now to the regular December expiration, that bumps up to $35 projected move one way or the other. And that's because we're seeing volatility really come off the bottom. So even with the market rally, vol is up a little bit here. Why is that? Well, it could be just because vol was just so low, almost back to bottom of the barrel again, that we're seeing a little bit of premium get pumped back into these options. This is Scott Bauer on the floor of the CME Group.